All right, welcome to our third feature match of the night here. We're in week one, Lord of the Rings. We got John R. Ged, and he's playing against Adam S. Wisma, who's our most recent league winner for March of the Machine League. And these two were actually partners in the partner league. So as soon as the partner league ended, they broke the fellowship, as you might say. They agreed to play a feature match against each other. So here we are. What's Adam holding over there?
There are two swamps, an Uru, Hull Berserker, which just ETB attempts you. I think that's going to come down. We got a Mirkwood Bats, a Mortal Knife Wound, which is a weird removal card, and also Banish from the Doras, which is sorcery speed or exile something.
All right, so he's got a couple removals here. John playing maybe one of the less popular color combos we've seen in the set in Gruul. But red being quite good, green not being favored by most people. But, if you have the right cards that work together, he has two really strong gold cards in his hand. One being Friendly Rivalry, the removal spell, and the other being the rare Doors of Durin, which lets you just put creatures onto the battlefield for free. As long as you can get in an attack with one creature, you get to start jumping creatures for free. He has Improvised Club and Ents Fury for removal, and he has Cereborn the Wise, which is a Scry Matters 4-drop elf.
Crime matters. I haven't seen the doors actually come down in any game so far. I'm interested.
I have I played against it? I might have seen it in a league match. I don't remember if I played against it, but it's quite the card. It can be quite the card, but you do need to be able to attack somewhat profitably. Like there's no guarantee you're going to get a great creature out of it.
I
But
think with all the mana cyclers, I guess another use to run those because those are big creatures.
it's certainly can put the scare in the opponent. But like on this board, he can't attack, so there's no point playing the doors.
Flowering the right tree is drawn, so it's going to anthem everything, speeding up the clock.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. So we're used to being pretty happy playing like a card like Glorious Anthem, one white white. All your creatures get +1/+1. So now you've shaved the mana off of it, and you've given all your legendaries an extra power and ward. So quite the card here. Here comes the Knife Wound.
Gonna cut Stella Born.
See if what he decides to do here.
Yeah, there's this tree
Looks
is pretty strong from what I've seen so
looks
far.
like he's just gonna say, I don't need to make a choice for the Knife Wound. I'm just going to turn my Cereborn into a club. I'm gonna club your Berserker over the head with it.
Got Ward 1. Okay. This is
Yeah.
legendary.
Yeah, it means he's not really doing too much else this turn. But he gets to attack here.
Little value though. Turning your dead creature into removal.
Yeah, so another little storyline here is similar to Steve earlier, who had played many feature matches without. Yeah, this is Friendly Rivalry does not work here. You need a legendary in order to uh, kill that 3/4. So Friendly Rivalry says a creature you control, and then plus another legendary creature you control team up. They each deal their power to something. So he would need a
They're
legend.
not big enough.
Yeah,
Nothing.
right now the most I could deal is 2 damage. So Adam, despite being a 2-time league winner, is 0-4 in feature matches. So he's looking to break that here and get in the win column. So
Well, Shuffler's not being incredibly nice. Still has a ban from Madoras and just two swamps. Creatures are pretty good when you have that tree down.
yeah, just like he has a removal that he really doesn't want to use on these 2/2s, but now this door can kind of cleanly come down and start having an impact. But it looks like John's gonna he might go for the book instead, Book of Mazarbul. But this door can really start putting the beats on Adam here.
See the door.
He's carefully thinking about it. His other option is to play the Book of Mazarbul and then play Woe's Pathfinder, which is a mana ramper. But I think he's just going to go for the big impact here. Go for the high impact plays. He sees Adam's not doing much over there,
The
And
doors.
he's going to be able to get a mushroom watchdog onto the battlefield here.
Doors are going to light John's fire.
Yeah, so this Doors of Durin basically it does it pushes it in all the directions that you want to. Like it comes in attacking, it doesn't go back to your hand, it doesn't get
Um,
sacrificed, it just stays. But here comes the
um,
Westfold Rider, and
yeah,
this
that can
rider
take
might
care of them.
break down the doors here.
Straight off the top. Straight off the top.
He is on his horse. He is coming for that door. He is smashing right through that door. He goes down with it, but uh, that just crazy advantage engine is now been
Oh.
stopped.
In the game earlier tonight, we were talking about what can deal with enchantment and artifacts. That's the only one that sees play, really. Maybe that green one sometimes that scries the green card, but
Yeah, there's the red card that can either deal 1 damage to 2 creatures or exile an artifact. I do play that if I'm in a spells deck.
well, the doors is that an artifact?
Yeah, it's an artifact.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is.
so he uses the Book of Mazarbul here to get an extra counter to then be able to kill this bats, and unless there's a board wipe coming, which doesn't seem to be,
No, no board wipe.
he can gain 3 life, go to 5. I suppose technically, if John has no removal, he gets to live, but the friendly rivalry is in hand. Actually, friendly rivalry, yeah, that'll kill the 2/3.
We saw doors dealt with, but he gave a card, and what happened was Adam sacked his creature to deal with it, so it wasn't even that great of a thing, even though it was a counter. Technically,
Which card?
door
Which
replaced
one?
itself.
The
Well,
doors?
doors replaced itself by putting a creature right on the battlefield, and then Adam had to basically sack away his top deck, and so
Yeah, I
game.
guess. Well, the door represented the game just ending a lot faster.
It was the
So
right play. It's
there's no
just
way to there's no way to
powerful
leave
it
that
is.
in play.
That's how powerful it is. So I'm looking at the sideboarding here. Adam's just figuring out what the cut. A farmer comes out.
Yeah, so just see an army of 2/2s backed up by a couple of removals here. Just that knife wound once again showing how poor of a card it frequently is.
You mentioned that just as Adam cuts both of them, and he's putting in two or thanks. It's a 1 mana combat trick that gives 1/3 and 1/3 and something or other. Maybe 4.
Flying and it untaps.
Yeah.
We got more or less the same card in Call Time. Wings of the Cosmos. So
That's not as well comes in.
yeah, John's got, like I said, like a pretty okay Gruul deck here. He has an interesting card. I wonder if we'll see it in play. The Fall of Care Andros, the enchantment where you can deal 7 damage to a creature for 8 mana.
Oh yes, I haven't seen that one in play either. But getting that much mana isn't an easy task in this meta,
I've
from what I
seen
could see.
that. I've played against it in draft on 2 different occasions. It was okay. My decks weren't fast enough to punish the opponent. I did win one of the games, just because I went wide, but yeah, the card can take over the game. Like once you get to 8 mana, you are highly likely to win that game. But the question is, what's the game state going to be? Can you afford to pay 3 mana to do absolute nothing? I mean, it's a cool card. I think I would basically be always running it in week 1. And John's got it in his starting hand here, along with a Breaking of the Fellowship and 5 lands. So not the most
Adam's gonna,
inspiring hand here.
Adam's going to be playing. Oh, he has a Samwise, which has flash. It's not going to come down this turn. We have a Westfold Rider. We have the Protector of Gondor, which is the 2 humans on one card, the 3/3 and the 1/1, and the Banishment of.
But he does have a Samwise in his hand, you said.
Yeah, and that can, if Westfold Rider is dealt with, can come back right away. The Samwise.
Well, I mean, he could sack the Westfold Riders to kill this Fall of Care Andros that's about to be cast if he wishes to, and then bring it back.
That's neat.
One thing I will mention, which I saw Adam doing earlier today, and I was watching a streamer draft on Twitch. Two copies of that Samwise, the Stouthearted, the uncommon, they actually just loop with each other for 2 mana. You could just play one, sack the other one, and get it back to the trigger, and you just get to ring tempt every time. I don't know.
It,
I feel like they could have designed it in such a way to prevent that, but they didn't.
I'm
So
trying to do one thing with it, which is the Evolving Wilds variant. I forget the name
sure,
of
yeah,
it.
Shire Terrace.
Mhm.
So
So yeah, it's happening though. We were talking about
so
getting it
if
right
you
back.
are drafting and you see and you have a Samwise and you see another one, pick it up because it's extremely potent combination. Having two in your deck.
Imagine two legendaries synergizing with the same name.
Yep. Well, you play one, the other gets sacked. It comes right back.
Great start for Adam here, dealing with that eventual threat in a very efficient one.
Looks like he's gonna get this Samwise off the board here with the breaking of the Fellowship.
Oh, they're fighting.
So again, I mean, the breaking of the Fellowship is efficient here, but just think of how many times it's not going to be efficient. You know, when it's good, it's fine, but when it's bad, it's like terrible. But like I
Well,
said, week one, you play it. It gives you the ring, so it has just enough upside.
we're seeing the Protector of Gondor come out instead of the Ungol Patrol, the 5-drop, which isn't very good against the Death Toucher here. So.
Yeah, so not too much going on for John here. He has the friendly rivalry again, which with that spider just can kill anything, since the one death touch is enough. He also has the improvised club, so if Adam points some removal at his creature, he can turn that into 4 damage.
So that card, 4 damage to face, is my gem.
You are a face damage connoisseur, I'll say.
We just need 5 of them, they win. All right, draw is the escape from Orthanc, the +1/+3 flying untap thing we were talking about.
Okay. Not really of use against a death touch spider, but might come
You
of
can make it
use.
fly. You can
It,
make it
it, it
fly.
might come of use to get around a burn spell. Like it handles like an improvised club pretty nicely a lot of the time if your creature has enough toughness. Right, so sending
Yep.
in with the small creatures, leaving back the bigger one. Even though he doesn't want to trade the 3/3 for the 1/1, but the 1/1 can attack past the 3/3, so looks like he wants this Sam off the battlefield. He's probably aware of the things you can do with multiple ones. Probably knows that Adam has multiples.
Death touch with bite spells, always a nice combo.
Yep, very good.
There it is.
All right, so
Like
off goes the
Spirit
Sam.
Ungol Patrol is probably the play happening now. There it is.
I mean,
Um,
I read this card, this patrol, and like I like all the words on it. I like the body size. I just haven't seen games where this card like took over, like it reads like it might be able to.
wouldn't call it a misplay or anything, but the Swamp in Hand could have been played to keep up this combat trick +1/+3. It's not really going to matter though.
So his draw for the turn, John, was the Delighted Halfling, so not very useful here unless he's splashing a legend. But
Yeah, so the draw is Mordor Muster. We've seen that card a few times already tonight.
all right, so he's had it with this spider, but the spider's gonna take down a protector of Gondor with it.
Yeah, actually, what I said is
Yeah,
actually matter.
improvised club, like it's quite good. I the last time we saw something like this, or that I can remember, was a Heartfire in War of the Spark, which allowed you to
So,
sacrifice a creature or planeswalker to do 4 damage to any target. And it was very good there too.
but you can't exactly tell without looking at him stream. But yeah, he has a swamp in hand. Had he played that, the Orthanc would have been castable.
Oh, he
With,
would have been able to save his creature.
so basically, the same thing I was saying last turn. He didn't keep up block it. I said it probably won't matter. Well, it mattered on
Well, he's
particular.
drawn another what we call bite spell here, Stew the Conies, which brings a food token with it. But nothing much to stew on here.
I think this too. So Mortal Muster is going to be a great play next turn. It's going to get a draw. Um,
Yeah, Mortar and Muster is like just one of the foundational like 2 drops in this format. I find like that and the Vanguard in black, just such good solid 2 drops that you just want as many copies as you can get your hands on. Honestly,
a loot's going to come out now too because we got level Two.
There's a reason why I've like a lot of the decks I've seen in League are black decks, just because black has proven itself to be the strongest color so far.
Yeah, it's not self-correcting like in draft here, where you jam your black cards in your deck.
Yeah, in draft eventually, black becomes less fought over. The other colors rise up in value. In sealed, it's just if you have good black cards, you're going to be very happy and do well. If you don't, you're going to be fighting a bit more of an uphill battle, depending on what you have at your disposal.
Adam electing to let the 1/1 die instead of or thank it. You can give flying to one of your creatures for lethal almost every time next turn. So
All right, so here comes Swarming of Moria. Not really what he's after. I guess. No, he can't. I mean, I guess he says, well, the patrol's tapped. I can maybe kill this 3/2, but not with the wings of Orthanc. He can't.
see if he pre-combat gives flying. The other card is Farmer.
Yeah, he could just pre-combat give flying to the patrol if he wants. Um, not too many cards that can blow him out here for in green red.
Yeah, it'd be a bit risky to put it on the Berserker since it has less than 4 toughness.
Berserker can die to quite a few green or red instants. 4/5 can't. Uh, this looks like it's going to be the end of the game here. Or well, he'll get a food token, but he can't. He can crack it.
Doing.
So we're gonna have a 5-power flyer here.
Good game comes out.
No thanks. He could have sacked the food. I guess there was another turn there probably, but he saw the writing on the wall and he said, "Let's go to the next game here." Looks like he's no longer interested in the fall of Care Andros. That experiment might be over.
I want to see more of this red-green deck. We don't see this archetype too often in the set.
Yeah, well, he has the premium rare Doors of Durin, and he has both of the. He has 2 copies of Friendly Rivalry, and he has the other gold uncommon too, which was Strider, the landfall card that gives stuff +1/+1 until end of turn when you get landfall. So I mean that card's not like incredible, but both those Gruul gold uncommons are very strong cards. Just turns out Gruul hasn't really been represented as a strong draft archetype yet, but those cards are quite good.
That landfall guy is something else I want to try out with the Evolving Wilds on board.
I remember I played in the pre-release against a green-red deck, and they were getting the beats on me early. I played the Generous Ent, that 5/7 that brings a food, and I was like, oh, they can't kill it. And then like end step, they tap 2 mana and cast Friendly Rivalry and kill it and untap and then kill me. I'm like, oh, for sure I'd be able to block with this, and they're gonna have to use a trick or something to 2-for-1 to get past it. Nope, 2 mana instant speed. They killed my 5/7, and I was a bit stunned. So
Adam's on the draw at the mulligan, 2 unlanders.
Yeah, but so yeah, Friendly Rivalry, nice card. John's not got a Barn Burner here, Van. He has Breaking of the Fellowship, the 2 mana, mediocre removal, and he has Cereborn the Wise, the 4-drop, and the rest are lands. So if Adam gets the right 5 cards, he can definitely get in under what John has.
What is 1 color of mana? So 2 swamps, 2 white cards, and a more gold. Oh, Plains off the top. It's going to be a fine start with this 3/1 Westwood Rider.
All right, and another land spells big trouble for John here.
Westwood Rider's going to be followed up only as the hand looks on turn 4 with Gorthang. I'm not sure what it's called. 3/3 and a 1/1.
Gothmog, yeah.
Gothmog.
Yeah, a lot of these names are very similar, and a lot of the legendaries, there's multiple of them too, so they didn't make it easy on us here remembering all these legends.
By the end of this set, I'll remember. But we did get a Protector of Gondor. Adam might have to play that. Yeah. 2 3/3s and 1/1, but one's legendary.
So John got a reasonable 3-drop there last turn. He drew for turn. Swarming of Moria. This turn he can play out his Celeborn the Wise. I mean, the card just reads really strong. Like, it attacks as a 4/4 at worst, and potentially you could scry even more and get even more
Yeah,
pumps.
very strong. But attacking into 1/1s is what you do in the set a lot.
So interesting here is if he sees it, he can use the Breaking of the Fellowship. He could use the 1/1 Death Touch to kill off Gothmog, and then the 1/1 will lose Death Touch with the Gothmog gone if he
Yeah,
sees it.
it's also a way to kill a bigger creature as if the small creature is death touch. That's exactly what Gothmog does. I guess it's the ideal situation for that card.
Yeah. So let's see if he sees it here. I mean, he could also just use the 3/1 to kill the Gothmog. So, but I like using the Death Touch. It's more fancy. Yeah, but
I did
this.
not mention the top deck for Adam. I turn Sauron the Necromancer, very effective card.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a problem. He needs to draw his friendly rivalry or something.
His land off so far.
I mean, he has two improvised club. He has two friendly rivalries, so he has answers. It just they need to be they need to come fast.
Sauron, fun card to play with. I got to use that in paper.
Yeah, I had it played against me at the pre-release. Also, I haven't yet. I've yet to have it in a deck. I've had the bigger Sauron in a draft deck. That was fun, but not not this one yet.
No land. It's a 5 drop of all things. It's patrol.
Oh, I mean, he has something reasonable to do here. I mean, obviously, rather
Mm-hmm.
rather play the 5 drop, but this is a completely reasonable play on this board.
Yep. Multi 5 was nice top deck spot.
Yeah, I mean, he got help that John really wasn't doing too much. I mean, John did get the 3 drop there to at least have something on board. He's drawn Mushroom Watchdogs. Again, this is a problem like with these sort of Gruul decks. If you don't have a lot of card draw, you're just like you're at the mercy of your top decks. If you're just drawing 2 drops when you need to be drawing big creatures or removal, your opponent's just gonna overwhelm you eventually.
There's land number 5. Sauron might be coming out.
Yeah,
Or
like
baiting.
in like the
No, baiting removal.
majority. Okay, he's playing the patrol. In the majority of formats, it's like Gruul is a deck that needs to draw like all the cards in the right order, kind of. Right, so he's got improvised club here, so that can deal with the Sauron. Adam probably playing the patrol to potentially draw out a removal to clear the path for Sauron, but the removal that John has deals exactly 4, not 5. So
It's a fine play anyway. You got a couple fodder cards on the field, so if you draw your
oh yeah,
6th land, you can hold it up with Sauron also played.
yeah, there are creatures to sack on this board, absolutely. Interesting.
Coming.
Attacking with the 2/2 here, so offering the trade for the 2/1/1s if Adam wants. I guess he says, well, if those 1/1s are gone, the sack fodder's gone, so I might as well get in my attack here. And John needs to draw something good here, else he's going to get buried by this card advantage from the patrol. So yeah, we know Sauron's not long for this world, but this patrol is going to be on board for the foreseeable future and can get a lot of advantage.
It's pretty bad news for John if a 6th land comes down because Necromancer, the Sauron the Necromancer can be backed up now by the top deck escape from the Orthanc that's
Oh, let's see.
gonna
Yeah,
blank
I
up.
think he's gonna wait. Yeah, he's gonna wait for 6 mana, and he passes with nothing, but really he can draw cards with his tokens here if he wants.
That's a good play. Good thing
Like
he didn't play with Sauron.
But he can just block here with a token and sacrifice it and draw that card, make a food, get himself closer to protecting the Sauron.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, like I said before, the patrol, like I read it, I like everything I read on it. It's just in draft, it's appeared like a touch too slow.
Okay, so
He's actually gonna use the escape here rather than leave out mana to potentially protect his thing.
he
He's
doesn't know about the club. We do, but I mean, it's something you usually play around, I guess.
Yeah, but it's like what can he do with the club? Like kill the protector of Gondor, and he just says, "I'm just gonna deal you 4 damage." Yeah, I feel like you can just let your 2/2 army die and save the club for like a real threat. But I mean, obviously he doesn't know that there's a gigantic threat looming in Adam's hand that might take over the game. Um,
hitting face.
I mean, that's what you would do, right?
In
I
every
don't.
situation.
I don't. I don't speak for you.
In every situation, you hit me.
I speak for myself. I mean, maybe I cast club there, but I definitely go after a creature with it if I do.
Drawing a card here.
Yeah,
Sauron can reanimate. I think the Gorth side.
it makes a three. It makes a 3/3 copy of it,
Yeah,
and it goes away unless you are the unless he is bearing the ring. Right. So here's a farmer. He's just gonna decline to play it until maybe like he feels like all of John's removal has been exhausted. I mean, he's already seen the club go down, which would have been the card to kill it.
I'm drawing really well out of this Malta 5. No doubt he's got
Yeah,
the upper hand.
this extra food token is making that improvised club look like kind of sad, having directed it at his life total rather than a creature.
That is true. Base damage is a bit risky to go for when there's so much food in this set.
All right, the expert has spoken. You heard it, people.
Voodoo is the way they're trying to counter all this aggro stuff going on, but 2 mana is not
Yeah.
quite enough. It's an aggro format for sure.
All right. So John just has 3 lands in hand, so it looks like this game might be a tough go here, unless he draws a
Doors,
really high impact card.
doors, and a giant creature coming.
I mean, Doors just means he's just sending a creature into the abyss every turn, and possibly the one that he finds from it as well is dying, right? Like,
Not looking good.
Adam has a 4/5. Like, he can just block whatever comes in from the doors, and then whatever it brings with it, might be able to block it too. So he's just gonna hold off on his sword. He's gonna say, I feel like I'm ahead here on board. My life total is stable. I have a bit of a little engine going. I mean, if you get a legendary in play, Haunt of the Dead Marches and Patrol sort of just, you know, it just gives you fodder every turn. He says, I don't need to cast this Sauron. I'll cast it when I need it, and I don't need it right now.
If I'm not mistaken, Adam has two different arts for these food tokens. One is the spider food, which the patrol made, and the farmer gave regular food.
Yeah, I believe the black cards make the spider food, and the other cards make more pleasant looking food, human food perhaps,
Mhm.
bacon and bread and all the good stuff. Right, so in
I
comes
think
some
the same thing.
creatures.
I think there's the same idea with the incubate tokens in the mom set.
Were there different arts?
I think so. I think the
Let's see.
white one and the black one.
Okay, I wasn't keeping track.
I could be wrong, but I think I remember that. Or maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Look, we want to be inclusive. We want food to represent food for all different types of creatures. So
All
we
spiders, all humans, all hobbits.
spiders got to eat too, right?
Look at this combo. There's no legendary on the field, but
No
oh,
legendary yet, but just a matter of time here.
Rosie was drawn. Rosie was legendary.
Oh, Rosie Cotton. That is a card that is very threatening.
Is that
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 card gets
Thoron
out of
can
hand very fast.
doesn't Rosie trigger on any tokens? So
Tokens, yeah.
Thoron makes tokens. Look at that.
I mean, you don't really need it to make Sauron better, but this is going to be hard for John. I mean, top decking. I mean, there's. I mean, I saw his deck. I don't think there's any one card here that actually just is gonna make this better for him. The one card that maybe could have given him a chance, he sided out, which is that enchantment where you pay 8 to deal 7 damage to a creature. That
Oh,
would be
that'd
just
be
that would be just about the only thing here, and he took it out because it's just a little too slow.
that would be an interesting end game if that came out.
Yeah, like I said, he put it in the sideboard, but this would be the game for it, I think.
Yeah.
He's drawn a Oliphant, which is probably about one of his better draws. don't think it's going to be accomplishing too much here with sort of this engine that's been assembled here by on Adam's side. Yeah, nice combos here. The patrol with the Haunt of the Dead Marshes, two Samwises, just nice little value cards and just high, reasonable creatures, couple rares. This is like kind of what you want in week one, right?
Yeah, black white color pair. All the Mardu colors are, I think, a step above. But I'm interested to see what the league's gonna bring. Like the draft isn't always the same meta as our league in terms of what
Yeah,
colors are.
I'm not playing in this league, so I don't have first hand experience, but I have watched a good amount of matches. I've not seen as many blue decks. Blue has been a color I'm liking very much in draft, but it might just not translate well to the sealed element of league.
I had some success in paper in with blue red tempo stuff, but I'm not sure how viable it is in draft.
Oh, I think it's more reliable in draft than it would be in league, if anything. But
Yeah, probably.
yeah, this game is getting out of control here for in Adam's favor here.
Flash
Like
of the Bell. I'm gonna take down for 1 mana. You're gonna get rid of the Oliphant.
yeah,
This
like
is
I said, having seen John's deck, there's no one card that can really get him out of this. He can stay alive for some number of turns. He can play blockers. He can maybe remove a couple things, but uh, eventually Adam's scrying and drawing every turn. He's putting counters on things. It's kind of kind of the inevitability here.
Lash has been so good because yeah, there's as we said a couple times tonight, 1/1. All creatures are everywhere. Not only are they good for ring bearing, but a bit of an aggro format. So
I wonder why going just for a chump block there rather than trying to get creatures off the board. So he's drawn friendly rivalry. Um, but again, it's like there's too many moving pieces here for any one card to take out one of them. It's got to be the sack outlet, I think. But
of course he doesn't know, but we know Soran's been in hand playable for a long time. But that's your backup plan.
yeah, like we said, he said I have what I need in play. I'm assembling it. Rosie is making it even better. Yeah, in comes the haunt.
Oh no, it's a
The
Death
haunt's
Toucher.
gonna go back to the graveyard, and he's gonna lose his card draw engine here, but it got him where he needed to be.
It only got him 12 cards though.
Like I said, got him where he needed to be.
Just seemed life waiting to be gained there on the side.
Looks like he's gonna rob, but he's not even gonna need to see what's in hand there. Uh, he's realized that the game has spun a bit too far out of control. So congratulations to Adam getting finally his first feature match victory. So he had to win 2 leagues first, but here he is in the win column. So thanks everybody, and we'll see everyone back here next week.